Hello and welcome to the Billionaire Journey Podcast. Today, we want to talk about a topic that is going to be really, really interesting. We want to talk about how you can find the love of your life. All right, so the reason I'm sharing this post is, the reason I'm sharing this today in this podcast is because I shared a post today on my Facebook. By the way, if you're not following me, you can go to Sola Mathew on Facebook and follow me there. So I shared a post today. Is a picture of my beautiful wife and myself, and then I wrote something like from total stranger to being a life coach and eventually becoming her life partner. And a lot of people are busy commenting in the comment section, and there was a particular guy who said that that I should drop a podcast on how to do the same. So I was like, okay, no problem, this is actually not bad. After all, it's still part of, in a way, the billionaire journey, right? Because one of the ways by which you can become a billionaire is to marry right. Because if you don't marry right, you will be frustrated. No matter how much you have, you will not be happy. So, and being in a relationship, of course, helps you to become stabilized in some form, emotionally and in other areas of life. So, by the way, my name is Sola. In case you're listening to this podcast for the first time, my name is Sola Mathew, and this is the Billionaire Journey Podcast, where we share tips and strategies on how you can move from a zillionaire to a millionaire and to a billionaire. It's basically sharing a journey on how to do this. So no matter what level you are in between the journey, this podcast can help you. Yeah, so back to the topic. I know very soon we are going to celebrate Valentine and all of that, but I just felt that it's just okay that I share this today. Perhaps on the Valentine's Day, we can then share how you can use relationship, to build your customer base. So, how did it happen? My wife is here, so of course I don't know if she might be joining me, but she's here. So whatever I'm gonna say, she's bearing witness to all of that. So, how did I get to meet my wife? Okay, so the way I got to meet her was, I think I went to a particular eatery in Nigeria called Takeaway. That's actually one of the best eateries I've ever been to. Takeaway, they have amazing food. It's located in Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State, Nigeria. So I went to the eatery and I think I bought something. I'm not sure, but as I was coming out of that eatery, I was the only one. Yeah. So, and then I went to buy something. Yeah, I remember. So then I met her at the time. She was also buying something, and I was like, hello, with that my beautiful smile. I have this captivating smile that makes people fall in love with me, instantly. Just kidding. But really, I smiled at her and say hello, and she replied, of course, but it wasn't really a lively reply. So I felt like maybe she just wasn't interested, or there might be something wrong with her. So I just I just greeted her, and then she left. And then I thought that we'll never meet again. Yeah, she's reminding me that I also said that I liked her hair, and I was like, oh, okay. Normally, one of the things that I've learned, especially because I'm actually writing a book on the KLT factor right now. It's called Know, Like, and Trust. So one of the things that I've learned in order to give people compliment is, don't just tell people, oh, you're beautiful. Of course, she's beautiful, but if I say she's beautiful, you probably heard about she's beautiful from a lot of people. But so I just say I liked her hair. And she appreciated, but like I said, it wasn't really that lively. So, and then we parted ways, and I just forgot about it, and somehow we kept meeting. I didn't know, right? And I would see her because there's a church just beside my house, and she attended that church. So I would see her and say, "Hello, my friend." I didn't even know she was the one. To be honest, it was later on she was, kind of reminding me of this. But I'll just say, "Hello, my friend," and all of that. And one day, because she does all these donuts and all, which she sold while she was in school. So one day, I was coming out from the church, because I at the time I started attending this church. Now, she's not the one who brought me to the church. Don't think I follow the woman to the church. But even if I do, it's absolutely okay. So I was coming out of that church, and I, as I was coming, I think something happened that I wasn't really myself. So, and then she met me on the way, because there's a stair. So we met at the staircase, and then she was like, please, do you have 15 naira? This 15 naira. I think she needed to pay a bike man who brought her to the church. And I just, brought out the 15 naira, gave it to her without even smiling at all, just left. So, and I was expecting this girl to come and give me back my money, but she never did. So, you know, one day, it was 2020. Now, 2020, we went through lockdown. So because of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. So because of the lockdown, everybody went home. Me, I was chilling in my house, and she was chilling in her own house. And then I saw a message on Facebook. I think even before that, I saw a message which says, hello. And me, I don't really reply to people who just say hello on Facebook. So it was like, hello. So I said, then later I reply, I said, hello, how may I help you? Right. So I said, hello, how may I help you? So for a long time, like about a month or thereabout, she never replied that, how may I help you? So it was later she was telling me that she felt like that was a bit, tight, like embarrassing or something like that. So later on, I just saw a message again. So I was like, hello, you might not remember me, but I'm the one that requested you to give me 15 naira, then blah, blah, blah. She explained that. I was like, wow, oh, the lady with the rope. Because she used to put this belt within, this stomach, she put the belt there in her waist. And so I usually see her, but I didn't even know she was the one I met the first time at that takeaway. So, and that was how it all started. And we began to talk, and then I realized she was going through some things at the time. And I was actually enrolled in a course, a life coaching course, and yeah, I think she also had a heartbreak. so one guy like that broke her heart. She gave all her love to the guy, and then he broke her heart. Blah, blah. Anyway, so I began to coach her with the experiences that I learned from that life coaching. I actually took the course on Udemy. So if you go to Udemy, you'll be able to. I'm not an affiliate to them, but I'm just telling you. If you go to Udemy, you'll be able to see the course in life coaching. So I was, using the life coaching. I told her, I said, as a life coach, I will not give you the solution, but I will be able to ask you questions that is going to bring out the solutions, right? And it was really helpful, because during those times, the life coaching and all of that, it's really helped her in some way. Actually, she told me that later on. I also recommended some books and some. I think she also asked me what course can she take, all of that. So I recommended, the Google Digital Skills. By the way, if you want to really start with digital marketing, the Google Digital Skills is a course that you should start with, right? So if you go to Google and search for fundamentals of digital marketing, right, you're going to see the course is totally free, and you're going to be certified by Google and Open University and all the partners. So I hope you got value from there. All right, so I gave all of that, and it was really helpful. And then eventually, we kept talking, and then to cut the long story short, we're now married. So it all started with a beautiful smile, with compliment, and then eventually with a life coach giving value, and then eventually we found that out. We actually would be the best for each other. So I asked her out, and I was like, "Hey, I want to marry." I didn't even say, oh, what's not. I like you and I want to marry you. I was like, what? So I just went straight, because I don't like to. Okay, there's no reason to start parabolating if we just want to date for dating's sake. Of course, we dated for, I I think about a year or thereabout before we eventually got married. But I already let her know that this is it, because we already know our values, we know our visions align, and all of that. So we just decided to get married. So that is basically it. So what's the point here? The lessons is, try as much as possible to keep a good smile and compliment people when necessary, and try to help people as much as you can, and try to give value. Probably that's why they call me the king of value, or the value king. Right? And you also, if be out there, right? So like I'm saying, if in my book, the key ultivator, the first thing is for you to get to know the person, right? Now, assuming that I never said hi to her, never got to know her, or she didn't also send me a message and we got to know ourselves, we'll probably not be here. And the next thing is, be vulnerable to each other, so share deep connections and emotions, and don't lie to each other, just share, be vulnerable. That creates a kind of trust and emotions, and then the person likes you, and the person will be able to trust you, especially by the time you remain consistent in what you say. So not like you say one thing today and then tomorrow you are not saying the same thing, you're probably saying something different. So that is basically it. So if you're looking for your love, the love of your life, the first thing is get known, right? So if your own is to go to the party, make sure you go to the party where those girls are or those guys are. If your own is a church, make sure you go to the church where those ladies are or those guys are. Mind you, there are a lot of people in the church that might not actually be who you're looking for, but of course you also find someone if you want there. If you have to go to events, industry events or parties or friends outings, make sure that you get out there, right? So it's just the same thing as maybe you want to market your business. You have to get out there by running adverts and all of that. So make sure you get out there, right? Like somebody put it on Facebook today and say that, most of the ladies around him wants help, not coach. I'll say, then be their helper, right? You have to be their helper no matter where. See, sometimes you think of what people want without necessarily asking them what is it exactly they want. You just thought, like you're thinking that they want help, but of course every one of us wants help, but the kind of help might not be, maybe they want money from you or something like that. So try to be the helper. That way, you create that meaningful relationship, which might eventually lead to love life, right? So just ensure that you put yourself out there. Sometimes it'll be just on Facebook, or for example, I learned of the story of a guy and a girl who got married simply by messaging. They're in the same group in a Bible app called the U version, and then the guy highlights the Bible story, Bible verses that he likes, and then the girl sees it, and eventually later on the guy actually searched for the girl on Instagram with her name, and he found that I sent her a DM, and today they're married. So make sure you belong to a community. That is the most important thing there. A community of people that you're interested in, right? Belong there. And the next thing is, be confident, right? Approach the person, give compliment, and make sure that your compliments are actually genuine, right? Make sure so that the person will like, oh, we're just flirting around, right? So make sure that your compliments are genuine, and be consistent, be authentic. Don't say because you want to date this person, then begin to change who you are, the core of who you are. I'm not saying that we'll not all change. At least there's certain things that I was doing in the past. Now, because I'm married to my wife, I will not be able to do that. Kind of compromise some things. Of course, in a relationship, you have to compromise at a certain point. But what I'm saying is, be authentic in your core. Be authentic. Make sure that you're very, very authentic. If the person is not loving you with your own authenticity, then most likely this person is not for you. Yeah. So maybe it's a quote that you should write down. So that is it. Belong to a community. Be out there. Be confident. Give compliment. Please put a smile. Some of you guys, especially guys, they want to ask a lady out. They're just frowning, and it doesn't work. Well, so give a good smile, and please dress well as some people say that appearance matters, so I believe it's so. Sometimes people will say that don't judge a book by its cover, but it's a lie. In marketing, we all know that it's the cover of the book that first attracts you, and then eventually you now check the content and then you buy or not, right? So make sure that your appearance is good. Dress well. You don't need to really do like expensive stuff, right? But just make sure you dress well and smell nice. And maybe you need to put cologne or something like that. And that way, you probably find the love of your life. So I hope that with all of this, this podcast will help you to probably get the love of your life. Please be confident. It's very important. Make sure that you send her that DM or you send him that DM today, right? Sometimes you girls, ladies will like, oh, it's not nice if I'm the one, just send him, say hi. Maybe you've always been want to ask a question, right? Just send the person a question, just say hi. And please, when you're sending people a message on social media, we've had an episode earlier where we talked about social media etiquettes, right? So, but when you're sending someone on social media, just say hi. No, send him like a constructive message. Maybe just go through all of his posts and all of that. Then maybe send him and say, hello, I just want to say that I really appreciate all of your posts, and particularly there's a place where you talked about this, and I felt really blessed, or I got value, and this is what I've done with it, and I just want to say that I really appreciate you a lot. That might just be what you start the introduction, and the person like, oh wow, thank you so much for this, and then you start talking, and who knows what will happen next. So I'm probably, because of this podcast, someone is going to send a message today, and then maybe eventually you get married eventually, so make sure that you send me an invite, and I would love to probably join your wedding at some point. But thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you've got any question, just send to podcast@thebillionairejourney.com podcast@thebillionairejourney.com. I'll be so happy to hear from you. And if you also want to send, maybe tweet about this podcast, use the hashtag The Billionaire Journey Podcast on Twitter, and we'll be so happy to read from you. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye.